Welcome to my channel. Today I present to you a handle for a bag that's quite simple to make, but the stance is different in this fashion, something different in the creation of the bag handle. Let me show you up close in detail. This handle you have seen, I prepared from raffia rope and I set it up on hooks in this way. This handle you have seen, I also prepared from 2 layers of paper rope. So let me show this in detail. As I said, it's really quite simple to make. You can easily use this simple bag handle in any bag you wish to make. In addition to the bag handle, you can also use it as a handle in the handbags you have made. Just like this, I want to show you again. It is really easy to make and it looks very different in terms of appearance, and it's a model that looks really sturdy. I used a 4-size water for this. Now, while showing it to you, I will be showing it on a light colored paper rope, and in a single layer. I would like to make a small request before we move on to the production. Please subscribe to my channel. I would be very glad if you do not neglect to comment and like it. We start by pulling chains when we start making our bag handle. I am now pulling 5 chains for this. After pulling my 5 chains, I make my frequent needles by sinking into each corner. Until the end of my row, I created my frequent needles. When we look at it, I have 4 frequent needles. The 5th chain we pulled was our return chain. If you are going to prepare the hooks in this way, it will be enough to make 4 frequent needles inside the hook of your bag handle. Now to the next row. As I pass, I pull 3 chains. I wrap them around the head of my knot, and look what you can see. The last one you see, the lowest frequent needle, is like this. Look at it from back to front. Let me show it again. Look, I dip my knot so that it is facing me from the back, and here I immediately pull a loop, and while pulling, I reverse my braid. Look, there are 3 of them. I collect 3 of them at once. I pulled 3 chains and wrapped them around the top of my knot. Now look at this last one you see. I pass my knot from back to front through my last tight needle. I pull my thread while pulling. I reverse my knitted work. I turn it like this. Look, I have 3 on my knot. I gathered 3 together at once. 3, I pulled another 3 chains, wrapped them around the top of my knot. Look into the base of the next one, from the bottom back to the front. Now you can flip your work over to bury it from the base while pulling your thread. Turning your thread upside down at the point where you pull will give you more dexterity. I gathered all 3 at once. 1, 2, 3, I pulled chains and wrapped them around the top of my knot. Look at the deepest part of the chains facing us. We'll always proceed by sinking to the deepest parts. I just reached the deepest part. Look, my knot is facing me. I pull my thread, flip the knitted work, gathered all 3 together at once, pulled 3 chains, 2, 3, wrapped them around the top of my knot. Now look at this deepest part facing me. Let me show you. I sink to the deepest part coming from back to front at the bottom. I flip my knitted work, pull my thread. There are 3 on the knot. I gather all 3 at once. I pull 3 chain around the top of my knot. Look, buried the bottom, flip my knitted work, pull my thread. Three at once, 1, 2, 3, I pulled chains, wrapped them around the top of my knot. Look, sank to the bottom of my chain facing me, flipped my knitted work from back to front, pulled my loop. There are 3 of them at once. I'm pulling, look, there are 3 on my needle. I took out 3 at once. Let me show you like this. Our sample starts being set up when we use 2 layers, it gets thicker. Of course, it has a thinner structure in a single layer. I pulled 3 chains, wrapped it around the head of my needle. See, I sunk to the very bottom of the chain in front of me. I turned my braid, I pulled my loop. I have 3 on my needle. I took out 3 at once. 1, 2, 3 chains. I wrapped around the head of my needle, came to the deepest point. I'm pulling my rope, pulling 3 at once. 1, 2, 3 chains, wrapped it around the head of my needle. Look at the bottom, I sunk to the bottom. I turned my braid, I pulled my rope, pulling 3 at once. 1, 2, 3 chains at the top of my needle, wrapped around the head of my needle. Look what you see. Now our pattern is set up. Look at this one looking at me, such looking at me. I sink to the bottom of my chain. See, like this, I pulled my loop from the back to the bottom point. I also turned my braid. Therefore, I wrapped around 3 at once, 1, 2, 3 chains at the head of my needle. Look, I sink to the lowest point. I pulled 3 at once from my needle like this. Let me zoom in again. This is all our model is about. You can knit until you reach the desired length. When finishing, I pull a chain and turn my knitting upside down. I make frequent needles by sinking into the top of each of my frequent needles, that is, the top of my chains. We started with 4 and finished with 4 frequent needles just the same. I complete my bag handle. Let me zoom in and show you in its finished form. See, it has a thin structure as you can see. Let me show it again. It's on a double layer. This is how I made it with paper rope. And this is my example that I worked on for you with raffia rope. That's all I have to say. I hope it was useful for you. I wish convenience to those of you who will do it. See you in my next video.